Hi there, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Well, it's about that time again that I did another collection video. So, we are still on 20th Century Fox. I do have a lot of 20th Century Fox titles, and I've got quite a few next to me here, so I'm going to try and get through them as quickly as possible. So without further ado, let's get on with it. This film will appear in an upcoming episode of mine that will be like a top 5, top 10 type episode. I've got a few lined up that I want to do, but this one takes place in one location, and a very small location at that, and it is Phone Booth, starring Colin Farrell and the sultry tones of Kiefer Sutherland. If you haven't seen this film, I recommend it, definitely recommend it. It'll keep you sort of interested, like, oh wow, what's going on here. So that is Phone Booth. This film I was pretty sure I saw at the cinema, and I was amazed at the sound quality of this film. And also, once I finally got it onto, probably had it on DVD first, but watching it on a 5.1 system, it equally sounded really good. And I believe they're going to do a prequel to this, is it? And it is Master and Commander. The Far Side of the World. What a great sort of idea for a movie. You know, there's some pretty sort of gory scenes in it, I think, or some graphic sort of depiction of what went on ship life, especially under attack. Now we get to learn that it's not the cannonballs that are the dangerous part, it's what they create. So some amazing sounds, some amazing scenes, and a great film all round. This one I really like. It's, you know, a concept that hopefully we don't ever get into, but knowing us as the human race, we'll end up this way anyway. Or the way the climate's going, things could change and this could happen. So it is The Day After Tomorrow. This is a steelbook. First I had this on 2-disc DVD with a slipcover, but I clearly have upgraded that. And if a 4K comes out, but that's not really going to happen, is it? As it's 20th Century Fox, so I shall be hanging on to this. Really like the landscape, you know, the snowscape and just everything about it. Yeah, it's quite an interesting story. Yeah, it's worth watching this one. Let me know what you think. That's The Day After Tomorrow. Right, as you can see, I've got a lot of slipcases for these 20th century titles, and basically they came to a point where I was only going to buy a movie and using Blu-ray.com as a reference, because invariably that will say if there's a slipcover on the original pressing. I would then hunt down on eBay or anywhere else I could find a slipcover. But now I have two versions of this film. This is a 3D version with a slipcover, and it is IRobot with Will Smith, who at the moment I still don't really forgive for his behaviour. So yeah, kind of a bit of a sore point watching any of his films at the moment, but it's nowhere near as bad as some other actors, so I'm sure he'll be forgiven at some point. But what a brilliant film. And you know, the fact this came out on Blu-ray not long after Blu-ray started, and a colleague of mine at Pinewood was really excited about how it looked, and he was even taking photos on his phone of his projector screen, showing me the picture quality, and I was quite impressed. So that's 3D version of IRobot. No, this is a pretty good movie. Ridley Scott film with Denzel Washington. Basically, it's about a disappearance of a young girl. You can see that. Get rid of the glare. There you go. And he does what he can to find her. He's basically a minder, I think. It's been a while since I've seen it, but that's a pretty good film. That's Man on Fire. What do we got here? Right, I used to have a lovely DVD box set of this, and it was the extended version. Now, that's not Ridley Scott, that's Tony Scott. Yes, wrong Scott brother. Got myself right there. This one's Ridley Scott. And that is Kingdom of Heaven. So this should be the uber long version, just over 3 hours. So yes, director's cut, starring Orlando Bloom, also Liam Neeson, and kind of think who the king is, I can't remember. But yes, the period of time that this depicts is quite an incredible time of war. And now, I'm not a religious person by any means, but I do really like this movie, and you know, trying to fight for their rights and sort of survival of keeping Jerusalem as the way they want it, as opposed to what's the I can't remember the bad guy. Oh, done it again. But great movie. Looks pretty fantastic on Blu-ray. Shame we're probably not ever going to get a 4K of it. But that's Kingdom of Heaven. Right, this next film is the first time I sat up and went, I now understood the lighting on CG, because to me CG failed when the lighting was incorrect, and in most scenarios before this film, and actually quite a few after this, because this is I think this was done by, the CG was done by Sony. Well, it's a 20th Century Fox film, and it is robots. And again, this will be such a shame that we probably won't get this on 4K. But for the first time, the shiny aspects of the robots, the lighting was just sort of correct. The nuances were correct, that it actually looked like metal and not CG. Great performance by Robin Williams in this, as this little character. Great one by Ewan McGregor as well. And just a great little story, and there's a scene near the end where there's two kinds of music playing, and Robin Williams comes out with a new genre of music, and I think it's really funny. So watch the film to find out what that is. All right, so we've got a couple of films here. Two of which I think I saw at the cinema, one I probably didn't. But they are Night at the Museum, Part 1 and 2. Again, with a nice slipcover on. Now, I didn't know a third one was going to come out, so otherwise I probably wouldn't have got this, and I would have waited for a nice box set. But these are really fun movies. Again, good performance by Robin Williams in these. And one of my preferred films of Ben Stiller. I'm not the biggest fan of his, but I think he's very good in this. You know, Monkey's pretty good as well. And again, some pretty good CG. Hank Azaria as well, in Night at the Museum 2 is very good, as the Pharaoh. Of course, he's one of the many voices in The Simpsons, if you didn't know. So that's Night at the Museum 1 and 2. And of course, I have number 3 as well. And this nicely sort of metallic slipcover. Again, shame that the boutique labels hadn't been around longer, that the artwork's always the same, slipcover's just a slipcover. No reversible art or anything like that, but that's Night at the Museum. Secret of the Tomb. Right, now this I need to do a double bill of, but I need to get the original, excuse me, the original version of first. Now this, I thought this film was okay. It's not amazing, but again, this is one I hunted down the slipcover for. and that is The Day the Earth Stood Still. So yes, there's I think a 1950s black and white version of this film. So this is the remake, starring Keanu Reeves, in case you can't read that at the top, and a bloody big robot type thing. But yeah, pretty good film. Need to watch that again actually. Right. So, Dr. Seuss story. Do have the other one somewhere, I'm pretty sure. This is not the only one we've got. But anyway, this is Horton Heres a Who. Now, if ever you want a film to sort of test out your sound system, then this is one. There's some really good sound aspects in this movie. And again, nice slipcover. Ooh, and different artwork underneath. That's good. And I guess that's Horton. No, that's not Horton. That's a Who, isn't it? Horton's the elephant. Silly me. But yeah, there we go. Great voicing by Jim Carrey there. And a film, I think I saw it at the cinema. Can't be too sure, so I won't put my life on it. But an outing by Hayden Christensen after he done Star Wars, and I was quite impressed. Also has Samuel L. Jackson in it, and that is Jumper. Pretty good science fiction film. I recommend giving it a go. Letting me know what you think. So that's Jumper. Right, so I'm going to move these out because there are quite a few piles here. I'm still here. Right, now a little bit of a franchise. One of which I tried to watch the series and I was sort of getting into it, but well, maybe I'll pick up on it one day. It's on Prime, and it's kind of like the early life of this character. But so the first one is Taken. It's my nice steelbook version of it. Obviously starring Liam Neeson and the famed lines of "I will hunt you down and I will use my skills and I will do all sorts of fantastic things to you." I'm not going to spoil it, so yeah, so that's Taken. So of course then we have Taken 2. I think this one gets a bit too shaky cam, and it's like, what the hell am I watching? You know, I don't know what I'm watching here. It's just ridiculous. And possibly the third one as well. It was just really bad filmmaking, and unfortunately quite a few films suffered in that. So that's Taken 2, and yes, another steelbook, Taken 3. It's been a while since I've seen them, so I can't really remember them, but yeah, pretty good franchise. Right, this film I definitely remember seeing at the cinema, and I really enjoyed it. I kind of used to watch the series on and off, but that is X-Files, the movie. I Want to Believe, yes, with a slipcover, and of course it's the same. But so there we go, X-Files, I Want to Believe. Now this one I actually put out to sort of kind of get rid of, but then I decided, you know what, actually no, it's actually pretty good, and it has a slipcover on it, and so why not keep it? And it is Aliens in the Attic. Quite a fun film. So that's that one. Right, this one we are waiting on the sequel, and the director is renowned for taking a very long time on his movies, but once they come out they are pretty damn epic and pretty damn impressive. So I actually saw this on IMAX in 3D at the BFI at Waterloo. My wife, for the most part, had her 3D glasses off because it was giving her a headache. But thankfully, most of the shots are actually in 2D. So she didn't miss too much in that respect. But which version first? Yeah, and it is Avatar. So I got this, and we actually saw the extended version, so its second run. So we missed its first theatrical run, but we saw the second run with the added, what, 9 minutes, whatever it was. Now obviously there's a third version, all new extended film, not sure if there's 2 cuts or 3 cuts on here. I think there's 3 cuts. So this is like a slip cover on a slip box. If I can get it out. Oh, it's a bit tight. Come on. There we go. So that's quite a nice set, actually. If you haven't seen that set yourself. But yeah, well, hopefully James Cameron can persuade Disney that they need to put this on 4K, eh? And then of course I have the 3D version as well. When I was going through a phase of, you know, I do plan on having the means to watch 3D. I quite enjoyed watching it at work. So yeah, that's the 3D version of Avatar as well. Right, that I think, no, so I'm just working out the order in which they go. Don't want to get them too wrong. So, now, can't remember where I first saw this, or I saw the trailer of it, because I can't have seen it, oh, unless I saw it at Sony. But why would I see it at Sony? Anyway, regardless. Oops. It is Jeff Bridges in Crazy Heart. Again, with a nice slipcover. Pretty good film. What's her name? Maggie Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal's sister is in this. And yeah, he's kind of a country and western star that's kind of drying up a little bit, and you know, just wants to kind of carry on, and bit of a romance story, but quite a good film. I quite enjoy it. That's Crazy Heart. Now, before I kind of got into rap and hip hop as much as I do now, as you can see, I'm wearing a Napalm Death t-shirt. That's definitely not rap or hip hop. But friend I was with at the time, she decided that she wanted to go and see this, so I thought, okay, I'll go along. I didn't know much about the artist, but this is based on a true story, and it's the Notorious B.I.G. Really impressed with this film, really impressed with the actor who played Biggie Smalls, is his kind of character name, you know, his rap name. I can't remember his actual name. But yeah, very good film, and got a nice slipcover. Glad I have it in my collection, and yeah, I need to watch it again soon. Now this film I really liked, and I was really disappointed that it didn't do well at the cinema, because I really wanted more. I was slightly disappointed that one of the characters was not in the film very much, and you know, he's kind of a key character from the original TV series, and that is the A-Team. I was rather disappointed that the van, what happened to the van, and the fact that it wasn't in the film very much. But this is a really cool film. I think everyone plays their part really well. It's, you know, got the same sort of feel as the series does, and I grew up watching the series. This has the art cards, the interchangeable, so you've got the slip like that, and you can change it around with which character you want. And I think Liam Neeson does brilliant as John Hannibal Smith, and I think he does a pretty damn good job of B.A. Baracus. He does a pretty damn good job of Face, and he does a pretty damn good job of Murdoch. Now I like the little sort of Easter eggs at the end of the film. So obviously, sadly, we don't have George Peppard with us anymore, but 2 out of the 4 do appear in this movie. So if you haven't seen it and you're interested and you're sort of sitting on the fence about it, no, I urge you to watch it. And especially if you grew up watching the series, I think you'll love it. So that is the 18. I'll put that back later. Ugh. Right. Oh, and this one we haven't seen yet. Black Swan, starring Natalie Portman. My wife wants to see this, and we just haven't got around to it yet. But it's quite a nice steelbook of that. So that's Black Swan. Now, bizarrely, these first 2 came out through Buena Vista Home Entertainment and sort of Disney. But then the third one came out through 20th Century Fox. And that is Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which again, we haven't got around to watching yet. But you may have seen a sort of a charity shop haul video that I did a while ago. We brought a 3D version with a nice slip. So I suppose really I should be showing that as well, but you've already seen it if you've watched that video. So there we go, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. This film was quite a lot of fun actually. There is an extended version on this SKU, which we haven't seen yet, so next time my wife and I get to sit and watch this, we should watch the extended version. And it is Night and Day, starring Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. Quite a good sort of role for her, because I think she sort of went off a little bit, didn't do so many movies, but she's very good in this film, and that's a great fun film. So that's Night and Day. See, a lot of slipcovers, as I said. And another one here. Now I think there's a trilogy of these movies, but we only have this one and we've only seen this one. But it's Percy Jackson. Jackson? Yes, bit of Sean Connery for you. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. This was a pretty good film, quite enjoyed it. Nice slipcover too. Oh, now this is based on a true story, and I really like this film. Starring Denzel Washington and Christopher Pine. And it's one of those films that when you watch the beginning and the board is set in motion as to what goes on, and you're thinking, oh, why? Why did we do these silly things? Why did we not follow the rules occasionally when we're supposed to, when they're more important? You know, thankfully, what could have happened didn't, but that is unstoppable. So yes, based on a true story. And another Tony Scott film. Should say on there, shouldn't it? Big letters, Tony Scott, but I'm pretty sure it does say. See, I didn't know what I'm talking about. Right, next pile. So one more pile after this, but right. I haven't seen this. Yeah, Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. Or have I seen this? No, I have seen this. Yeah, this is a great film. Really quite heartwarming in places. Quite an all-star cast as well. So it's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Oh, my wife and I enjoyed this one. This has Justin Timberlake in it with Amanda Seyfried, and it is In Time. Kind of bit of a time travel movie here, but a pretty good one. So nice steelbook too. If you haven't seen it, check it out. In Time. Now this one's pretty cool. Do like our CG animated movies, and this one was pretty impressive. I think we've got the second one somewhere, but it may not be in the right place. But that is Rio. Very colourful movie, and again, nice slipcover. What does it say? Yeah, Carnival Party Edition. So I imagine there's some sort of sing-along bonus extras and stuff on it. Bit of Angry Birds. I think you could play on it somehow because it says 15 new exclusive levels. But anyway, that's Rio. Now I know I just watched Ash from Popcorn and Horror, and he just bought this from CEX, and it is a great film, and it is This Means War with Chris Pine and Tom Hardy and Reese Witherspoon, and that's why he bought it, because he likes Reese Witherspoon. So Ash, you'll enjoy this. So yeah, if you haven't already seen it, you may have said you did, but your video is a little bit quiet. I was thinking about some other things as well as watching your video, so don't take offense. Sorry, mate. But yeah, that film. Oh dear. Right. This film took me 2 attempts to watch. The first time I was clearly not quite in the right mood for it. It's a pretty heavy movie in the language that is used. I don't mean swearing or anything, but kind of Old English, and of course American Old English at that, because it is Lincoln. But once I finally got through it, very, very good film. Of course, heavily political, and I'm not big on politics, so a lot of the jargon and stuff that they talk about is, yeah, I just kind of ignore. But great movie. What a performance by Daniel Day-Lewis. You know, the guy is just the next level. The fact that he can disappear into his characters. I mean, to me, Tom Hanks does the same. He disappears into his characters, but he's so sort of distinct looking and sounding, but Daniel Day-Lewis takes it that one step further. And I mean, look, that's Abraham Lincoln on the front. That's not Daniel Day-Lewis. So there you go. How's the video doing? Oh, getting pretty long, so it's going to be about half an hour this. Sorry. So The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Haven't seen this yet, but it's got a slip on it. So we'll be checking it out soon, I hope. Right, well, the other Scott brother, Ridley Scott, trying to carry on with his Alien films, and he brought us Prometheus. Now, I did see this at the cinema, and I really enjoyed it. The Covenant, which I should have got out, I don't know why I haven't. I think it's because it's 4K and it's in there. So I do have Covenant as well. And that is also a steelbook, but I do have this on regular 4K as well. So yeah, one of the few 20th Century Fox titles that we have in 4K, and that's Prometheus. So the last little pile, this was probably a charity shop find, or it may have just been in H&V, cheap or something, but Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Chip. You know, fun little films, and again, it's got a slipcover on it, so it's always a winner, isn't it? This is based on a true story. Tom Hanks movie, great film. It's also Steven Spielberg, and that is Bridge of Spies. Now, I need to get this on 4K. I'm pretty sure there's a 4K out there. If I'm not, then I'm talking rubbish. But at least I got a slipcover, and I enjoyed it very much. It's a very good film. That's Bridge of Spies. What do we have here? Oh, so I'm not sure if it was just 20th Century Fox that were doing this, but they were releasing films, and then a while later they were releasing extended cuts, director's cuts. And it's like, oh, come on, guys. But I bought the 3D version of this on a steelbook. But when I found out the extended cut was out, I thought, well, I'm not going to buy it again. I'm not going to get rid of my steelbook. I'll wait for 4K. And I was right. When I got the 4K, there is the extended version of The Martian. So I have all three versions of the film. The 2D theatrical cut, the 3D, and the extended cut on 4K. And I got a nice steelbook. So that's Matt Damon in The Martian. Can't actually remember if we've seen this, but it's sort of an animated movie, and it's Snoopy and Charlie Brown, the Peanuts movie. Obviously, again with a slip, like I said, I have a lot of slips from 20th Century Fox, and there you go, Charlie Brown. Now this film is actually a really impressive film. Stars Hugh Jackman, and it's a musical. I'm not usually keen on musicals. I have seen one at the theatre. No, actually no, I've seen a couple at the theatre, I lie. But yeah, this was really impressive. But they did, the formula to the songs they picked were the chords and the progressions they used and the music they wrote was to sort of pull at the heartstrings and really hit you in the emotions. Not necessarily always in a sad way, but and I was like, yeah, that's a bit sneaky, but hey, I didn't mind. I liked it. And that is The Greatest Showman. Now, there is a 4K of this, isn't there? So I need to pick that up because this looks spectacular. Didn't see it at the cinema or anything, but definitely really enjoyed it. And yeah, Hugh's got a pretty good voice, so that's The Greatest Showman. And that wraps up the 5th episode of my collection. So yes, we have 20th Century Fox DVDs next. That'll be exciting, won't it? And after that, once I get through that, and if I'll probably do my busts and box sets and things in a completely separate video for collections, so it won't be attached to the studios. So hopefully after the DVD video, which should be quite a bit shorter, then I'll be able to get on to them, because they're the ones I know you want to see. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Set your notifications to all so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And I'll see you in the next video. So, take it easy.